Suppression, another very common psychological defense mechanism. This is one that you're going to see a lot in the wild. And this occurs in a way that you might not think that it occurs. So a lot of times we associate suppression with negativity, like people who are like brooding. And suppression is essentially the coping mechanism in which we ignore or avoid thoughts and feelings that are painful to us. And so we just do whatever we can to not think about them, and we do whatever we can to not feel them. So suppression doesn't necessarily have to be like a negative personality though. And actually, I often see suppression the most these days in individuals who are super optimistic. So for me, when I encounter someone that is extremely happy, extremely optimistic, but in a way that kind of like radiates anxiety, then I know that they're suffering from a lot of suppression. Because essentially, these individuals have found it so difficult to feel any negative thoughts or emotions that they've developed this like sugar candy coated shell in which they will only allow themselves to think happy thoughts, happy feelings, because otherwise the kind of other side hurts too much. And you've probably seen this in your day-to-day life. Maybe this is more of like an American thing. If you're in a different country, comment below and let me know. I know us Americans are kind of more known for our overt optimism, but this is an issue. Why? Because negative thoughts, negative feelings are not trying to ruin our lives. They're not the mind is not trying to make us feel horrible. What it's trying to do is it's trying to give us information. And so all emotions that you experience, even the ones you don't want to experience, are valuable information for you. And if you're suppressing all the negative emotions, then essentially you're not intaking half of the data that the mind is providing, if you're assuming that essentially we experience almost like a 50-50 split. And so this way you can imagine that your decision making is actually quite poor when you're engaging in a lot of suppression, because you're not taking in the valuable information that difficult emotions are giving you. And a lot of times individuals that do this high level of suppression in which they're just like crazy optimistic all the time will kind of remain stuck in their lives. They'll remain stuck as people, and they'll not be able to kind of grow and mature the way that we would want them to, so that they can kind of become more developed human beings. And this is an issue. This is not ideal. And kind of the ideal version of this would be to become strong enough to conceptualize the difficult emotions as okay, and to be able to think of yourself as strong enough to handle these difficult emotions and not have to engage in this like overt optimism to suppress them.